snowmobiles pack it down into ice, and it gets really slippery. I went up to the top of the mountain to check. There's a pond up there that we like to ice skate on. I wanted to see how the ice is doing. And now I'm headed down the other side, which is steeper, so I put chains on. So there's a really steep, long drop off over there. But the sun, this is on the south side, so the sun does some good work here. And haven't really had the FC out where I'm using four-wheel drive much, so this is kind of fun. This is my first time putting chains on this truck. These are the chains off my 750s. And they fit the 700s just fine. Just run them on the front. As usual, the video makes this look not very steep and not very slippery, like not much snow. You can see that switchback. And underneath the truck and sled tracks, mostly trucks here today, looks like, it's ice. So we got to get around this switchback and then down that side. This is the first time I've had the FC out in snow. I know this isn't a lot of snow, but it's doing really well. I got the counterweight in the back, just running open diffs front and rear, and I made it all the way up with NDTs without chains. I'm just putting chains on, going down the switchbacks to be safe, because I'm by myself and it's icy. It's stuck. It's going to get dark here in about 30 minutes, and no self-service, by myself. Plus I wanted to see how the 750 chains fit the FC. So anytime you're running chains, put them on, get them as tight as you can, and then drive a little bit and check. And always go slow till they get seated in, and make sure you don't have any big tails whipping. Also, fitting your chains helps. So like these, when they're tight, there's only one or none. On 750s, I use this one. So just a little tail. And then just come through and make sure they're tight. And so there's a little slack here, but I'm almost to where I'm not going to need chains anymore. So, and I always, if you put a rubber band or one of these things on it, put it on the outside, obviously. And then if it does pull off, it's pulling off to the outside, and it was less likely to get caught up in your brake lines and suspension and stuff. And say what you want about NDT tires, but they work really good in the snow. They're not bad on ice, despite what people say. And then once you can't go anymore, they will hold chains like no other tire because of the way the tread's designed. So your chain gets down in these deep lugs. Now you don't have as much chain exposed, but it puts all the pressure right on the center, and the chains don't go anywhere. So it'll find its way into each lug. Obviously, the more bars you have on, the more bite you're gonna get. But they really work well for chains, because some of your smooth tires, like the STAs or all seasons, the chain will kind of skip around on top of the tread. So just another reason why these are one of my favorite tires. Generally, the only time I run chains are on slow roads where it's icy. In the real deep powdery snow, I don't usually need them. But I don't ever go very fast, because that's usually when chains start causing problems. So if you start to hear a slapping every time it comes around, stop, check your chains. And I generally try not to go over like 20 miles an hour with the chains. So that's just me. That's my tip. We're almost down off the mountain. One more switchback, and now we're back on the south side. So it's nice to get these little melted patches. I keep an ammo can with chains, one for the front, one for the rear, with the tensioners, and I keep a little bar in there to twist the latches on them, because when your fingers are frozen, those latches can be a real pain in the butt. Made it to the bottom. There's more snow down here because it's really shady. The most traffic this road is going to see is just hunters, snowmobilers, and you can see those tracks in the middle, horse buggies. So the Amish will run their horses up and down this. And they have built-in section is probably the iciest. I got about a quarter mile down, and then I'll flatten out. I can take the chains off. I'm good to go. Check out the porcupine. They're so cute. What a cool spot. Just a little babbling brook. My son and I do some fly fishing up here. We're way down in a valley. And there's the FC over there. It's just a really cool, quiet spot. Not a lot of traffic up here. Final tip is to make sure you park somewhere that when you take your chains off, you're not stuck, so you don't have to put the chains back on. So I'm gonna drive up out of here, get back on the paved road, and go home. Back in the valley, no snow, no ice, just going flat out, about 33 miles an hour. This thing actually runs pretty good. I mean, it weighs 1,000 pounds more than a CJ, and it doesn't have any extra power. I'm going about 42 right now, and it cruises right along. No overdrive, 538 gears. Safely back in the garage. Not bad for an old hunk of junk.